Hello and welcome to the second week of the course. We will be looking at this book that McLuhan produced in the late 60s called The Medium is the Massage. Then we'll be moving on to reading the sort of more, scholarly or less playful version of this book, Understanding Media, The Extensions of Man, which came before it. This book, The Medium is the Massage, I have to admit I have some nostalgic attachment to, because it was a book that was around my parents' house when I was a little kid. And I think I was completely freaked out by it. And I certainly, pictures like this, something printed on an egg. And pictures like this, which just looks horrible, but it's not. This is, if I'm right, this is a picture of a face, a human face of somebody who's undergoing a G-forces, probably a test pilot or an astronaut. It's not a corpse. It's not horrible. And it certainly goes with the title. The medium is the massage. The massage and how. One of the things, it's okay to enjoy this, and it's okay to laugh. It's meant to be funny, and McLuhan was funny. McLuhan was a joker, and maybe the whole thing was a joke. I don't know, but he certainly loved jokes and humor, and especially the introduction, reading Kant and the challenges to Kant. And, oh my God, what's happening? It's pretty grim, serious stuff. But the wonderful thing, and the later was stuff we read, especially Postman, Neil Postman's classic takedown of television, American television culture, amusing ourselves to death. They're pretty serious, grim, and kind of scolding things. But McLuhan, although there are a lot of warnings in McLuhan, it's essentially a joyful and optimistic description, from his point of view, a description of the changes that have happened in culture as a result of changes in media. It's not all grim and dark clouds. For him, it was just a next phase in the development of human culture. The Medium is the Massage. Just look through it. A wonderful book, wonderfully produced book, graphically, pictures, and type, and photographs. Just fantastic. But that apparently was a joke that resulted from a printer's error. The original expression was "the medium is the message," which is a really important part of understanding media and McLuhan's philosophy in general. But apparently, when the proofs came back for this book, they had made the mistake saying the medium was the massage rather than the message. And McLuhan loved it, and he kept it. And he incorporated it into the theme of the thing, the idea that, as he said, the massage and how. The notion that we are constantly being worked over. Where does that appear? All media work us over completely, like a massage, like something washing over us, or sort of almost beating us up, shaping us, battering us, massaging us, irritating us, soothing us. That we are worked over by media all the time, especially in the modern world. The way that the G-forces are kind of working over this human being. Again, looks kind of horrible in black and white sort of photography, but it's not. It's just a human. What happens to the human face when it's subjected to G-forces? Take a look at the book. The quotes are great. This is a quote from Alfred North Whitehead, who was a great 20th century philosopher. The major advances in civilization are processes that all but wreck the societies in which they occur. Major advances in civilization, the discovery of mathematics, the emergence of democracy, the notion of the Copernican universe, the advances or the invention of movable type, the discovery of electricity, all these things, the major advances in civilization, that they create change, and they create destruction, the destruction of earlier forms of life, and that this is a natural process, you know. But one of McLuhan's big points is that we're blind to it. I mean, that we're kind of almost willfully blind to it. He has this great words. Oh my goodness, it was wonderful stuff. At a certain point, he has this a great picture of the rear view mirror. If I can find it, sorry, should be better prepared. Oh, there's a little nudity here. Okay, it's tasteful though. But you know, trigger warning. There are nude bodies in the medium is the massage. Let's see. Still looking for it. You know. Wow. Yeah. Pretty grim. Integrated circuit. The global village. Oh man, these are all just incredible ideas that, you know, very 60s. You know, I mean, I was just a kid, but you could feel it. A very very sort of 60s feel to this whole thing. Yeah. Here's what I was looking for. This great image that they created of the rear view mirror. The past went that way. When faced with a totally new situation, we tend always to attach ourselves to the objects, to the flavor of the most recent past. We look at the present through a rear view mirror. We march backwards into the future. Suburbia lives imaginatively in Bonanza land. You know, you'd have to be an historian at this point to know what Bonanza was, but it was a very, very popular Western TV series that was on in the 60s. It was the biggest show on TV, and it was a Western, you know. And McLuhan is saying, you know, we live in this future where things have changed so much, but we're so hidebound to tradition that we still try to imagine ourselves through the past. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that we're missing the real, sort of reality in front of us because we insist on using the tools of the past to try to represent the present, and they just don't work. Yeah, I mean, like here, I don't know what this is a picture of. Wow. But he says, in the name of progress, our official culture is striving to force the new media to do the work of the old. Now, the new media are electronic media, and you know, this is obviously dated. You know, I mean, McLuhan is writing in the 60s. You know, he's an old guy, but you know, for him, radio is something new. You know, but television and you know, mass-produced visual culture, and especially television, are the thing that's really on his mind. You know, it's hard to believe, and that, of course, will be the Postman too. But you know, his point is that you know, again, we're so attached to tradition and the past and habit that even though we have these fantastic new media, especially television, but you know, today obviously we would talk about computer generated media like internet, cell phones, that we try to have these new tools do the work of the old tools, which they won't do, and also that this sort of limits us from experiencing what we could experience through, you know, real contemporary use of the new tools. So yeah, I mean, and this is the Philadelphia Waterworks. This is in Philadelphia, the Art Museum, and the point is that you have this 19th century technology that they felt they had to put a classical look on, right? Which I think is quite beautiful. I mean, I would love the Waterworks, and you know, it's a beautiful place. But he's quite right about that. You have basically the form of the past imprinted on the technology of the present, and this is a repeating phenomenon in human culture. I might have some more to say about this book, this wonderful book. You enjoy it, but that's what's most important. You enjoy it, and you know, read it in the way that you see fit. It's a fun experience.